I am really obsessed with all of the new knowledge coming out about Pluto now that New Horizons has reached it. Most recently, I found out that Pluto actually has a liquid core and tectonic activity, which is really, really cool, and a space nerd like me is freaking out. Hey everyone, my name is Danica, and today I'm going to be reviewing Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I've heard about this book for quite some time. When I lived with Chelsea, she was reading it at the time and absolutely adored it. I've also seen some people on YouTube review it, and I know it's been out since 2012, so it's not by any means new to the scene. But since all this stuff with Pluto has been happening recently, I just was really in the mood for kind of a spacey looking book. I didn't actually mean to check this out from the library. I went in to check out Crest because I had just finished reading Cinder and Scarlet, and they had this book on hold for me. And I got there and they lost the book. And they'd also lost the woman in line behind me's LSAT book. So I wasn't the only one, but I had to go look for a different book. And I thought it was finally time to give this one a shot. I also read it with my space-themed bookmarks that I'm really obsessed with that I got in the Biblio box last week. By now you're probably pretty familiar with what this book is about. It did come out in 2012, and it's by Benjamin Alire Sáenz. And it follows the story of young Ari Mendoza, who is 15 years old, growing up Mexican-American, and really is kind of a loner until he meets this guy named Dante at the swimming pool, and they become very fast friends, and follows their story of figuring out who they are and growing up. It's a coming-of-age story. It focuses on figuring out heritage. It also has some LGBTQ issues, and there's homosexuality and coming to terms with this. I really, really, really enjoyed this book. I actually didn't know what to expect. The book is set in New Mexico, so the world building felt very, very realistic. The characters felt very realistic. I really enjoyed the writing. I wasn't sure that I would at first. It felt a little juvenile. At first, it is a young adult novel, and I have to keep that in mind, of course, when reading, but it really engrossed me. I adored it. As I was reading it and after I finished it, I described it to my sister like it's like good fan fiction. And I don't mean that in the sense of the fan fiction that traditionally gets published. I mean that in the sense of the fan fiction you find online that has that author that's incredible and they're just not getting the notes. And it's like a bunch of those stories strung together. There's a lot of the tropes that you'd find in fan fiction, but it's a published book and it definitely deserves the 5-star rating I gave it. I had a lot of fun with this novel. I read it really quickly. I didn't crawl out of bed yet to read this until about 10 a.m. I had to do some errands around town in between then and the time I finished it, and I did finish by 3 p.m. So this book was a very quick read despite being 359 pages. The words per page are relatively easy to get through, and it's a lot of dialogue. I really just enjoyed the way it handled pretty much everything. I think that Sáenz did a really wonderful job handling the specific issues he decided to tackle. The coming of age, you meet Ari and Dante when they're both 15, and you stay with them for almost 2 years. It's over the course of 2 summers and a school year. So they're both 16 going on 17 when the book ends. And you can see that. You can see that in the writing style. You can see that in the plot and how they interact with each other. I think that he handles it very, very well and very true to life. He also throws in a lot of stuff about dealing with being a Mexican American and what does that mean as far as identity. Does that mean I am Mexican? Does that mean I am American? What does that mean as far as family traditions and stereotypes? And how can I grow up to define myself if I don't feel like I fit in with these stereotypes? Again, handled very well. Ari and Dante both have different opinions on this, and they have different ways of coming to terms with it as well. It also deals with LGBTQ issues, like I said. Dante, for a year, actually goes off to live in Chicago. His father's a professor and gets a job teaching out there, and so he is away for a while. And while he's away, he starts exploring his sexuality and writing back to Ari about it. And then they meet up again, and they have to talk about it. And it's just a very, I don't want to give away any spoilers because it is a little spoilery to talk about, but I think it was handled very, very well. The concerns that Dante had about letting down his family and not having grandkids, and the real life issues of, well, I've told my friend but not my family, and I feel weird about this, and how do I know? Because I haven't actually kissed a boy yet. I just feel like I would like to. It's handled really, really well, and I just very much enjoyed this book. I just cannot laud this book enough. If you've been thinking about checking this book out like I have and just haven't done it yet, I would definitely recommend doing so. You can get it at most libraries at this point, but honestly, if you have some extra money, I think it's worth buying. I finished this book and immediately wanted to reread it. Immediately. And I haven't felt that way about a book in quite a while. I've had so much on my TBR pile, I've just wanted to rush on. So for me to want to sit down and reread a book immediately after I read it says a lot about the book. And I just highly recommend this book. And yeah, I feel like I'm a space fashion queen. Ooh. I feel like I'm a space business person today with my like galaxy shirt and the tie. I love this outfit. It wasn't actually intentional, but then I realized I was reviewing Aristotle and Dante and dressed up like a space geek and talking about Pluto. I really don't have an excuse. I love space. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Today's song of the day is What the Hell by Avril Lavigne, and I will see y'all soon.